Hi, Adams. We are on lesson 8 of our poetry unit. So let's go over our vocab. Your first word is stall, and that's a noun. And it's a room in a stable assigned to an animal. So if you've ever been to the state fair and you've been in the barn where the animals are, they each have their own individual stall. This is also very similar in a horse barn. They all have their own little spot where they stay, and it's a stall. Next word is a waltz, and that's a noun, and it's a kind of dance. And then your last word today is anaphora, and that's a noun. And this is when poets repeat words, so it's that repetition again, but it's specifically at the start of a line. So the beginning of each line repeats the same words. All right, so our poem today is by an author named Jo Harajo, and she often writes poems in structures inspired by Native American chants and songs. She's a descendant of Native Americans, and sometimes chants and songs from Native Americans can take many different forms, and they often include repetition. So as you listen to this poem today, pay attention for those repeated phrases that might come from the Native American descendancy of her. So this is from a poem called She Had Some Horses. She had some horses. She had horses who were bodies of sand. She had horses who were maps drawn of blood. She had horses who were skins of ocean water. She had horses who were the blue air of the sky. She had horses who were fur and teeth. She had horses who were clay and would break. She had horses who were splintered red cliff. She had some horses. She had horses who danced in their mother's arms. She had horses who thought they were the sun, and their bodies shone and burned like stars. She had horses who waltzed nightly on the moon. She had horses who were much too shy and kept quiet in stalls of their own making. She had some horses. She had horses who called themselves horse. She had horses who called themselves spirit and kept their voices secret and to themselves. She had horses who had no names. She had horses who had books of names. She had some horses. She had some horses she loved. She had some horses she hated. These were the same horses. Okay, so again, with poetry, we often need to listen to a poem more than once. So please rewind me and listen to me read a couple more times so you can better understand the poem. All right, so number 1 is asking you what phrases were repeated in this poem. So what part of the poem kept being repeated over and over and over again? Write the words in the box. Number 2, I want you to count the number of times the phrase she had horses who appears in the second stanza. So if we go up back to the top, here's the first stanza, here's the second stanza. So count how many times does she say she had horses who? And number 3, what are some reasons that poets use repetition? Why would a poet repeat the same words throughout a poem? What's the point of that? All right, and here is your skills lesson for today. So I gave you the poem again. So every question gives you a part of the poem. So this one focuses on the line that says, she had horses who were the blue air of sky. And for each one, I'm going to ask you, what does that mean to you? So blue air of sky, what does that mean to you? What feeling does that give you? What is it talking about? And then you're going to tell me, how do you think that phrase could relate to horses? So for this one, when I think of blue air of sky, I think of no clouds, a clear summer day. I think of happiness. I think of freedom. So how could that relate to horses? Well, maybe the horses feel free. Maybe the horses feel happy. Maybe the horses are having a great day. So what I think might be different from what you think. So this is your interpretation. There's really not a wrong answer here as long as you are talking about the phrase, okay? So same thing for this one. She had horses who were fur and teeth. What do those do? How do they act? And how can they relate to horses? She had horses who were clay and would break. What does that mean? Clay that would break. And how does that relate to horses? All right, I believe that, let me double check, but I believe that is it for today. It is. I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye, Adams.